Okay, we're about to set sail for Tempoross to do a solo run. My level is not super high. We're currently only at 67 fishing. I would probably suggest closer to 70, especially if you only have the use of a basic harpoon like I do. But you're also going to need 7 buckets or 6 if you need a rope. I currently have the gear from the spirit from doing this from farming, so I'm already making moves with having more buckets in my inventory. And again, if you have like a dragon harpoon or whatever, you don't need anything crazy. You can just switch that with a rope, or if you have it, just add more buckets, because the ideal thing to do right here at the start is to get about 7 or 8 fish, and once you have that, you're going to just start cooking them. What we're going to look for now and hopefully going forward is exclusively utilizing that double fishing spot that'll spawn periodically, and the big goal of this strat is to make sure that you're following it to a T. If you don't follow it to a T, especially in this very first round, the setup for this is everything. If you can set this up, the next 2 rounds are fairly easy. They're not free, but they're far easier than the first round, which means that if you are failing in the first little bit, it does get better. You probably just need to level up your fishing a little bit more. So now that we're full up there, we're actually going to cook a little bit. Because we got that so fast. This first totem, if you are cooking, all you're going to want to do is just after it ticks past the halfway marker, if you're using the Tempoross plugin, is to just make sure that you lock that in right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cook all of our fish up until there are only 3 raw fish in our inventory, just so that we can start cooking fish once we get back from dropping off this set of inventory. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up to the ship and we're going to start dropping in fish into the cannon. We're not going to drop any of the raw fish. We are only dropping the cooked fish. Unfortunately, oh no, we're okay. We wasted a little bit of time there. There are fires that are going to spawn, but we have tons of buckets of water to deal with them. And this should be the only time you have to deal with the fire if you do this strategy correctly. So don't even worry about if they spread down below. You should have tons of time to take care of them. So we're going to douse the flames here. We're going to go down and douse the flames down low. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to douse all of the flames. No problem. So that one just spawned, so we're going to quickly go over to that double spot and not cook the 3 that we have. And once this double spot's done, we're just going to start cooking until the next one spawns. And we're going to fill our inventory, and it has to be cooked by the end of this round. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have all my words together. I'm still very new to this. I think I get one more tick. There we go. That was really good. So we have a lot of fish now. Now we just cook. And the second that we see that red double spawn, we want to make sure that we're going to it immediately to fill it up. We want to give ourselves the best chance to stack our inventory. As you'll see, Tempoross's energy is currently sitting at 10%, which means that he will not do another storm cycle. And the whole purpose to using this exact method is that you want to make sure that he never gets to a further than a 10 energy. So now that we have our second double spot, we're going to fish this double spot until our inventory is maxed out. If it doesn't max out here, this is where you start to get into trouble. So make sure that you are full. Now I can't carry any more fish because I tried to get a double there, but it's okay. One thing you will start to notice is now that there's no storms happening and there's no fire that spawns, but the fire that has spawned won't ever go out. It just kind of engulfs the other side, as you'll see. That turns into a living hell over there. But thankfully this is solo and the fire can't cross the desert. So we are chilling here. What we're going to do now is we want to dump our entire inventory while the right side burns to a crisp. And we are just dumping this whole thing. Once this is dumped, though, you don't want to run down when he comes up. You want to run down once the entire inventory is empty, because that should leave him exactly at 10% once you get back. The big thing here is you want to make sure you can get to around 70%, maybe 60% damage in this round. If you have a better weapon, just do as much damage as you can, because it'll make the next rounds easier and give you more chance for bigger loot at the end. Right here, we're just going to grab as much as we can, and once we're done getting our ticks, we're going to run and start fishing at the nearest fishing spot again, because we are completely out of fish. This is the only other time in this where it's acceptable really to fish at a single catch rate, but the second a double spawns, we're going to be furiously running towards it. So there we go. We're into the 60s. Hopefully we can get closer down to 60 even, maybe even less. There we go. 59, one more hit. Excellent. 55's perfect. So we just saw this one spawn, so we're actually going to run to that far fishing spot. And we're just going to start fishing until that red one spawns. It should be fairly quick, but if it doesn't, maybe 5 fish is really all you want to get. But now we have a lot more downtime, so we didn't get it. So we're just going to cook right now the 3 fish that we got, because that double has to be coming up fairly quickly. Usually it doesn't take that long to spawn once he comes back up. But even though he didn't, I'm just going to fish here, because you really don't want to have any downtime. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm getting a little juked by the double spawn. There it is. So now we're just going to stack our inventory to its max. As fast as we can go, we're going to fill up this inventory, but keeping Tempoross at 10% means that we never need to go to a totem. We don't need to totem, we don't need to do anything, and the big thing here is we are just filling our inventory just like the last time. Ideally, we'll get it here with this last double. If we don't get a double, and if we don't get one here, there we go, we're full. I was going to grab that one last one just to prevent a run back, but as you can see, we're currently at 31%, so we have tons of time now to sit back, relax, take a drink of water. Now that the hard part's done at the beginning, it's now time to gear up to the end. So what we're going to do is, before we also dump any inventory into Tempoross, is we're going to drop all of our buckets, including water-filled buckets, because they're unnecessary at this point. Now, what you could do is, if you have downtime, is fill it up, but you don't want to send him into the final stage just yet. So if you're going to do that, just be very cautious about it. I'm not quite there yet to really know, but as you can see, we have a total of 19 fish, and that's exactly what we want to use. So we're going to drop all of our buckets before we start throwing it in, because our first bucket's really going to hit Tempoross, and that's what we want to do, is we want to hit him and do as much damage as possible with the next cycle, so we utilize the time in the final round. This should leave him again with less than 10% energy, which means we won't have any more storms to deal with, and you can continue to laugh in vain at the right hand side of the screen, where all that fire can't even spread anywhere. So now that we've used all of our fish up, now we're just going to run, and now we need to make sure we're under about 30%. If you have a strong weapon or you're hitting high, do not kill him here. You want to utilize that last round to get as much points as you possibly can. There is a good chance that you should be able to get 9 points minimum from soloing in this method in a just under 10-minute time frame. And if you're able to stack even more fish or fish faster, you could really push this to quite an extreme level. So you see how he's at 14, so we really have a lot of time now to play with. And again, now it's just fish it up, cook it up, and shut up, because we are sailing. And look at that perfect spawn of doubles, and now we're just going to fish this until we max out our inventory the best that we can, and then we have all the time in the world. 10% is a beautiful number to be at. I've beaten it with as low as 27% left on his health, very close. I wasn't able to do an entirely full inventory, but I was able to do quite a bit. I think that's going to be it. There we go, one last tick, and now we're just going to fill up or cook up our inventory. And the second another double spawn happens, we are going to run it, fill it, cook it, and get ready for the big rewards at the end. Now, keep an eye on your storm intensity. If you are a low level and you've made it this far, don't let your storm intensity get more than like 85% before you want to throw 2 or 3 fish at him, and just accept whatever you're able to get. I mean, it's better to get some points after this time invested than none at all by failing because you wanted to get an extra fish or 2 in. But this is probably the most ideal run that I've had, coincidentally, since I've started doing this. Now, this is my 4th attempt at soloing Tempoross. But you'll see there, I didn't get any extra fish, but, you know, I was hoping there for another ticker or another fish or 2 at the end. Unfortunately, my low level prevented me from getting it. But again, we still have 42%. We've got lots of time. Even if I have to fill those last 3 spots with just normal fishing, I am okay with that. But we should find another double, probably spawning on the left. Oh, no, there it is. So we'll just use it because it's just a few less chances at having to sit here at the pool waiting. There we go. Double fish and full. There we go. Can't carry any more fish. I know that. We're relaxed. We're chilling. We're going to get those last 6 fish cooked, and then we're going to get ready to save this island from itself by dismantling Tempoross and hopefully getting 10 points. Or more. Who knows? So here we go. We're going to make sure that we're throwing in every single one. Now, if your health is high, you're going to want to stop throwing in early. I would say try to get used to seeing how much energy he has accumulated, because you have to be able to burn this before he comes down. But if you're able to throw in all your fish, you will quickly notice that you are going to be stacking up an insane amount of stats. So I'd say at about 45 to 50%, you're going to need to run down if he's got about 30% energy or 30% health or essence. But we have 10% here. This should be a really good run. We're already at 7,780 with a few stabs into this pool. We might even push to 79. Yeah. So there we go. So we've defeated Tempoross. We received 10 permits, total 19. Tempoross, I've only killed him 105 times. And there we go, 7,945 new PB with a time of just under 10 minutes. So one thing I would suggest is you're going to need tons of buckets, and you're not going to have time to go pick them back up. So you can run into the ship, fill up your inventory, quickly forfeit, and then you can just stack a bunch of buckets in your bank. So you just grab another 7 buckets in my fishing tab. See, I've already taken a bunch. So you just grab 7 buckets and you're ready to go again. It's as simple as that. Every 10 minutes, you're able to just do it. It's so easy. Like, I mean, you will fail, don't get me wrong, but it is a fun, easy way to continue to run Tempoross. Anyway, thanks for watching.